Okay, hi, hello everyone. Welcome to our Frala lessons. As hope you guys are doing well. All right. So as for today's lessons, I'm going to show you how to create a steel structure family in Revit. So basically, we will create a beam structure, steel structure. All right. So before we started, I just going to introduce myself first. Hi, good afternoon, CCW. Right, I just going to introduce myself. My name is Aunil Umira. I am one of the application engineer at CAD System. Right, so hopefully you can see my screen right now and then you can hear me. So if you have any issues, a moment, I'm just going to admit participant. Hi, who are just coming in. Thank you for joining our prayer lesson today. All right, so let me just share our agenda for today's lesson. So here is the agenda for today's lesson. So first, I'm going to show you how to create a profile for our steel component. Uh, Actually, this profile can be applied if you want to create a beam, a steel beam, a steel column, or railing. So any um, steel component that you can create from this profile. So I'm going to create a three type of profile, which is I-shaped profile, L-shaped profile, and C-channel profile. And after that, I'm going to create a steel component profile, a steel component, which is a steel beam, for example. So you can apply this method later on to any steel component that you want to create. And lastly, I'm going to show you how we add material for each, for the steel component. All right. So before that, I'm just going to intro a little bit intro on what is steel structure family in Revit. So steel structure family in Revit are a loadable family. It's categorized as loadable family, which is you can save, and then you can load anywhere you want, right? And steel structure families are also parametric, which is you can modify them to match your own design requirement. So if you want to change the size, the length, so you can do that in a steel structure family. Okay, so most of steel component or steel structure family type are being named by their nominal serial size with different thickness and of length and width. So for example, here you can see, okay, here is an example of the steel name. Okay, so this is example of universal build name. So each name here as have its own definition. So for example, the first one is the size, the nominal height and the nominal the nominal width. And next one is the weight per meter. Okay, and this is the section type. UB stand for universal beam. So UC for universal column and so on. And lastly, if it's shown, it will show you the steel grade. So this is the name. Uh, Usually, if you load a steel column or steel beam, it will show you the name type like this. So each name here have its own definition. All right. So later on, I will use the example to create our beam. Right. So usually, if you create a steel structure, steel families, a beam, a column, you will use profile. Okay. So why we create profile for our steel structure? Because um, profile is a 2D closed loop family to use to define the shape element. So which is you can define your element more detailed. For example, you want to do a beam. So you can create a detail for your beam. You can create a steel I beam, you can create a C channel. So this profile will show you the detail more defined, right? And then profile also can be used for other things, not only for beam. You can also use profile to create a railing, fascias, and wall sweeps. Okay, so to use profile, um, in your model. So you need to sketch it a cross section. So it will profile. It's like you create a cross section of your model. Okay. So by sketching a cross section that are extruded or swept along the path, right? So this is because using profile to create steel structure family will be easier for you to create detail. As I mentioned before, using 2D closed loop profile will make your model, make your family more detailed. Okay, so profile also will be used for you creating a sweep and swept landform in Family Rabbit, right? Okay, and so let me show you how we created the structure family in Rabbit. Okay, let me open my Rabbit. So first is I'm going to create a profile for our steel component. So this is an example of profile that I will create. So this is a C channel profile, and then this is the L shape profile, and then this is the I shape profile. So I'm going to create these three type of profile first, and then I'm going to use one of it to create a structure, a steel structure. Right. So first, you open up your Revit. Moment. You can. All right. So there's question for CCW. Why fascia here is using profile, not trusses? Yeah, you can also use trusses in Revit. If you notice that trusses in Revit, we draw it by using the element, the trusses element. So inside the trusses element, we have the framing. So the framing is using profile to create a detail, right? So let us start. So first thing is I'm going to create a profile first. So to create a new profile, you go to here, the family. Okay. So profile also will be under family. Okay. Families, and then create a new family. So it will pop up the template. So I'm going to use a metric template. So from here, I'm going to find metric profile, this one. Okay, and then I click on open. When Okay, so this is the profile template. As you can see, for profile template, for profile family, as I mentioned before, it's 2D closed loop. So you can see the features here are only for 2D features. You didn't have form function. You didn't have form function in your profile template. Okay, you're welcome, CCW. Right? So you can see under create type, we only have detailing, dimension, and tag, and so on. We didn't have a form. So this is the profile template. So first, I'm going to create the I shape profile. So actually, the method you create a profile is the same as you create a family, a element. Okay, it's ordinary. For example, you want to create the box. So it's actually the same thing. You create a reference plane and then you create your lines like that. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a reference plane for my profile. So I click on reference plane here, or RP for its shortcut key. And then I'm going to create two lines on this side, on this top side, a moment. Two reference lines here, and then two left reference lines for the bottom line. Okay, so this is will be the thickness and the length of my I shape profile. And then the center, okay, like this. This is will be the thickness for my I shape. And then two more for the right side, and then sorry, the left side, and then the right side like this. This will be the width. Right. So after I reference plane. After I create a reference plane, I will dimension it. So it will be easier for us later on in future and when we upload this family in the project. So it will be easier for us to change the sizes. So we need to dimension it. So to dimension it, you can just go to under modify. You have this align dimension. Or if let's say you don't, didn't find this align dimension here, you can always go to create and then there is dimension. It's the same thing actually, right? So I just click on this align dimension and then I will dimension the length of my eye shape first. So I just click on this, the second line here, the center line, and then the third line. Okay, plane, sorry, the plane. And then we'll EQ, I will equal the dimension. Then I create one more overall line for my length. Okay. So I do the same method for the horizontal dimension. Okay, this one. Okay, this one. The first vertical line, vertical plane, the center vertical plane, and then the third vertical plane. Yeah. And then EQ. Okay, make it equal. Then I dimension overall again like this. All right. Right. So next one is the thickness. So this is the length, the width, and then the thickness. We have three dimensions in our profile: length, width, and thickness. So one more for the thickness. Okay, this one the thickness is okay. You just ignore that. You know the dimension is not correct yet. Okay, this is the dimension. The thickness for the center eye shape, and then I'll make it equal like this. Right? So this is the thickness. Okay. So after I dimension it, you just ignore the measurement first because I'm going to change it later. So after I dimension it, I will label the dimension. So labeling the dimension will make your work easier when you load your family in your project. Okay. So I just click on this line first. Okay, 160, this one. This label, this dimension. So I'm going to label my dimension up here. So I'm going to create a new label because there is no label here, there's none. Okay, so I create on new parameter for my label. So this one will be the length. I just going to type in L, stand for length. Okay, so this will be the length. And then this one will be the width. So I'm going to create a new dimension, the width, W. And then these three dimensions will be the thickness of my eye shape. Okay, so create a new parameter. This one will be T, stand for thickness. Okay, so before I apply this dimension label to the other two dimension for the thickness, I just going to change the dimension first to 10, like that. Okay, because it makes it easier. It's easier for me to label. This one, going to use the same label. So I don't need to create new. I just go to label option here. There is none button. Click the drop down. It will list my label parameter that I just created. So T stand for thickness just now. This one will be the same thing. T, this one will be the thickness too. Right? Okay. So I'm going to use the one that I show you. This one. 203 for the length and then 133 for the width. Okay, this one will be 203, then the width will be 133. So as you can see, after I insert my dimension, you can see this plane was showing me the shape of the eye shape profile. Alright, so this is just a plane. It's not a closed loop yet. So to create a closed loop profile, you need to go to create and then there is line detail. Okay, so I'm going to create a line, click on line. Right, so I'm going to offset my line. So I'm just going to draw using line here. Then I'm going to offset my line to 2. Why? Because later on, I will align this line to its plane. So I will lock it. So every time we change the length size, the width size, it will also change the profile, the closed loop line. Right? So I'm just going to add offset first, then I'm going to align later on. So I'm just going to follow the reference plane shape here, the I shape. Okay, so I start from this intersection, and then as you can see, my lines are created in outer side. I just click on space bar in my keyboard to make it inside. Right? So I just follow the shape of my I shape here. This. So you just ignore this one, the length. Okay, it will automatically create a trim like that. You can see? Okay. Just follow the shape of your eye base. Sorry, eye shape. Okay, this one. And then last, go back to the intersection. So as you can see, this is a closed loop of my line. So but it didn't attach to the plane yet because I didn't create because the line is offset from the plane. So I want to make sure I lock this plane to the line. So I need to create like this. And then I'm going to use align tools to align it back. So to do that, just go here at the modify. So there is align tool, AL for the shortcut key. And then I click on, for example, I use this line first. I show you this line first. So I want to make sure this line locks into this plane. So every time I change the length, the closed loop also change. So to do that, I just click on this reference plane, and then I click on this line. As you can see, after I click, it will pop up this lock button. So I lock it. So every time I change the line, this line will also reflect it. Okay. So I use the same thing for the width here. So click this line, click the plane and then click the line here, lock it. Same goes to this side, click the plane, click the line, lock. This one too, click the plane, click the line and lock. Okay, so you just repeat the step for every line. Okay, the plane, the line, and then lock, the plane, the line, and then lock. So will be the thickness of my eye shape. Then the plane, the line, lock, plane, the line, lock. So I just going to create it for every close loop. And then last one here. All right. So now, let's say I go to the family part here to change my size. So I want to test it. So let's say, okay, so that let's say I change the length to 300. So I want to see if the closed loop or the line are reflected. Okay, maybe I change to 300, apply. As you can see, the closed loop or the eye shape also change. If I change the dimension, it will also reflect it to the eye shape. Okay, so it's correct. Then this one I forget to align. Okay, okay, let me test for the width. Let's say I change the width to 200. If it's okay. All right, so it's already right. Okay, 3, 3, 1, apply. Okay. So now I have my closed loop and I want to make more detail. I want to create a fillet here. Okay. So I just go to create line and then inside this draw tool, I have this fillet art. Okay, so I just click on this fillet art. I want to create a fillet here, this part and this part just for detailing. Okay, as I mentioned, 2D you can do detailing. And then I'm just going to add radius here, 5, right? And then this line to this line. So I have the detail like that. Oops, let me just create it one more time. Select 5, these two, and it's down here, this side. This is actually up to your detail. If you have more detail, you want to create more detail for your closed loop, you can do that. Okay, this is my eye sheet, right? So I will create two more for the L shape and then the C channel. So before I do that, I'm just going to save this profile, save as family, and then this is going to be the eye shape profile. All right. Right, done with that. I'm just going to create two more, which is for the L shape and the C channel. So go to file here, create new, family, just the same method. So file, open. Now for the C channel, we are going to create a reference plane. Okay, two line on the top, two reference plane on the top, two reference plane on the bottom here, and then one for this side for the length, and then one more for this side. So this will be the width of my C channel profile. Okay. So after I create the reference plane, I will dimension it. Okay. So first is the length. Okay, actually it's similar to the I shape just now, but this one you're creating reference plane for this side only. Alright. So this is the thickness. Okay, this is the overall dimension. Okay, and then this is the thickness for this side, right? And then the overall width, like that. Okay, so after I dimension it, I will label the dimension. So just click this one for the length. So same thing, L. Then this one will be the thickness, T. This one will be the width, W. Right? And then I will label these two as the same things as thickness just now. So thickness, right? And then this size will be for the length for the C channel will be 200, and then the width will be 9, sorry, 90. Then the thickness will be the same, 10. Okay. Actually, it's easier for you to change the dimension here. Okay, at the parameter, family parameter, 10. Apply, so it will reflect to your profile a bit. Alright, so create line, and then using the line tool to draw, and then make sure it has a offset. And then later on, I will locate using a line tool. So I'm going to start from this intersection. Make sure it's creating from inside of your reference plane. Okay. So just follow your reference plane intersection. It will create a C shape profile. That, and then I'm going to align it AL for a line, then align this plane to this line, and then lock it. Okay, same method as you created the I shape just now. Okay, lock. Okay, this one lock. This one also lock here. Lock, lock. And then if you want to create more detailing, you can create a fillet here. Okay, detail, fillet, radius 5. That. Yeah. So it's up to you. If you want to create more fillet like this, also can do that. Okay, it's up to your detail. All right, and then let's say a L shape. Okay, so same thing. Go to File, New, Family, Profile, Metric Profile. A moment, where is the metric profile? Okay, this one. And okay, so same thing. Reference plane. So this one, I just create a two reference link for this side because this is just a L shape like this. Okay, L shape, and then one more for the width, and then one more for the length like that. Okay, it's simple as that. L shape is easiest profile that I've been create. Okay, actually the easiest one lah. Okay, so this one, the thickness, and then the length like that, and then just label it. So this one will be the length. Okay, this one will be the width. Okay, and then this one will be the thickness. Okay, moment, let me just quickly create this thing. This one will be 6 and so actually it's up to your dimension. This one will be 75 mm. 75. Okay, this is my L shape profile. And then using line, I'm going to use the line tool, then make it offset as 2, and then just repeat the same method I used to create the beam just now. Okay, sometimes it didn't trim, so you can just trim it. And then align, lock, and align it. Okay, the last part down here. Right? So that's how you creating a profile. And now I'm going to apply this profile for my component. I want to create a steel component, a column, a beam, okay, a framing. So beam in Revit, we call it as framing. So framing can be used for beam, for railing, for trusses, okay. So to do that, I just go to file here, create a new family. So from here, I'm going to search for metric structure framing. So as you can see here, we have two types of structure framing, which is beam and braces, and then complex truss. Okay, so these are a framing structure. So if you want to create a column, you can use this metric structure column. Actually, the same method. If you create a framing or create a column, it's actually the same method. Okay, so now I'm going to create a structural beam. As it open. So usually if you open up the template, so automatically it has the extrusion created for you. Okay, just delete on that extrusion. I only have the line here. So I'm going to use this line for my length of my beam. So for steel structure, if you want to use profile, okay, if you want to use a profile to draw your steel structure column or beam, you need to create your steel structure using a form, create either swept form or either sweep form or swept blank form, either these two, because these two forms are going to use profile as its own detailing to create your elements. Okay, so I'm showing example of a sweep profile. So I just click on this one. So after I click on this one, it will pop up this sweep interface. So the first thing you need to do is you go to pick a path, which is your sweep path, where you want to create a path using the profile. So I click on this pick path, and then I click on this line, as you can see, because this template already has line for my beam. So I'm just going to use this one. Okay, and then click on finish. So you can see this line are creating a path like that. And then I go back to my profile here, and then I click on load into project. I want to load it to my family for my beam here. So I click load into project, load into uh, the structure beam family, this one. And then I'm going to use the profile in my swap here. So to do that, you just go to the select profile here, and then click on this by sketch drop down. You will see the one that you loaded just now. Okay, I shape profile. So I click on this one. And then maybe I just want to check if it's all right. So I go to the 3D view. You can see this is the eye shape. So if I click on finish, so automatically it will use my line just now as the line of the beam. Then you can see the detailing for the universal beam. It will using the profile now. Okay, so if any changes on this profile, I load it again, and then it will also change in my path. Right? So it's easy as that if you want to create a steel structure. You just need a profile and then you create it using a swap or a sweep. A swap blend or a sweep form. Right? So next one, I want to add a steel material for my beam. Okay, let's say I have the grade just now, this one. Okay, the steel grade, I want to make sure my material are using the same steel grade like this. So to do that, I'm going to click on this B, and then I go to the properties. Then there is a material and finishes option here. So from here, there is a by category. You just click on the by category, and then you click on this box with three dots. And from there, it will pop up the material browser. So from here, I'm just going to search S355. So there is a steel with grade S355. If you don't want to use this, you just search on steel. So there is more steel grade that you can use other than S355. Okay, it's up to your requirement, to your design. So I'm just going to use this one S355 grade, and then click on OK. So now if I change to realistic, then this is my steel beam. And then let's say I want to try it on a project. I want to try to draw in my project. I just go to File, pick a new project, Structure, Template. Okay. Right. And then let me load this steel beam to the project. Okay. Then I want to try it. Draw. Yeah. So I can draw my steel beam like that. So, okay, if I go to 3D view, so this is my steel beam. Then I can adjust it. Because I'm using the template, so usually it will follow the template. Okay. So if I make it longer, it will follow. Alright. So I think that's all. That is how you created a steel structure. So you can apply this method if you want to create a column. You can also use this steel framing for a trusses, any steel structure that you want. Alright. So is there any question? Okay, so I believe there is no question. So let me just share with you. Oh, I think if used generic to do. Okay, I have question from CCW. If use generic to do, not use profile, is it okay? So you for generic model, so generic model is basically for 3D elements. So if you want to create a profile, profile is a 2D element. So you need to use a metric profile template to create a profile. You cannot use a generic. So if you just want to use generic, you basically create a element, a 3D element. Do not create a 2D. Push it. CCWR. So what if change steel size must back to profile? Let's go back to profile. Yes. Okay. So let's say you want to change the steel size here. Oh, no, no. You don't need to go to a moment. Let me. This is the offset. I believe you need to go back because after it's created, because now it's just a beam. You cannot directly change it here in the project. Let me just see if you can actually directly look it. So if you want to change the type of your profile, you need to go back to the profile here. Okay, you need to go back here, or you can change it here. Okay, like usual, and then you load it back to your beam, or you can load this profile into your project. So let's say I load this profile to my project. So I go after I load the profile to my project. Now I have option to change the profile site inside my project. So I don't need to go back to the profile family. So I go to project browser and then profile. Is it E? Okay, here, profile. Then I have my eye shape profile here. Double click, and then here. You can also change it after you look. So let's say I close my eye profile shape here, and then I want to change the profile size, I can change it here. Okay, 300, change it to 300. Okay, I can also change the profile. So, but if you're using this method, you need to create your beam using the component, like this one, component model in. Okay, let me show you structure, framing. Okay, all right. And then let me open up my level one. Sorry, level two. Okay, I'm using the same thing with create a sketch of my path. See this side, then finish, and then I'm using the eye shape profile. Finish. Okay, and now finish model. So okay, this one. You can see it's slightly big from this one. Because this one is a family, a component. Okay, a loadable family. So if anything changes for this profile, you need to go back to its family. You need to go back to the profile. But let's say you don't want to go back to the profile, you just create a profile first, and then you load into your project, and then you create the beam using component in place. Okay, model in place. But if using model in place, you cannot load this model to the other project. So there is pro and con. If you created from family, loadable family, you need to go back to the profile family and then change it there. So if you don't want to do that, you can use model in place method to create your beam. Okay, that is one. So if I change, if I go to 3D, so if I change the profile size inside the project browser, this one, okay, I change to 400, for example, apply. You can see the beam there are changing size. So different from this is component in place and then this is the beam by element. So this is different, but it's a pro and con. So this one easier for you when you do a project. This one is easier for you to create. You can create multi sizes. Actually, you can create multi sizes here. It's easier for you to do that. Okay, let's say I want to create multi sizes. I don't want to create from project. So I go back to my family here. Okay, and then I go to profile here. Under project browser, there's profile for my family. This is the I profile. Okay, I'm just going to duplicate the size. Okay, size 2, and then change the size here. Example. Right. Okay, so I have two sizes. One profile, one for one size, and then the other size. So I have two type of size. So I load into project. Okay, alright, position. So if I go to print B, I got two options. Wait, sorry. Should be there two sizes that I can create. No, not this one. Moment, I need to go to profile 2, profile 1. Yeah. Sorry, a moment, I check first. This is the material. Let's create a multiple size. One, two, because, oh, okay. So this is because I didn't create a detail for this theme. But I have, okay. So this one, a multi-size. Oh, just share back my screen. One moment, sorry. Where is it? Okay, so that's how it's better for you to create. If you want to change the size, you just create using the model in place. That will be easier. Because if you create a multi-sizes here, it's a little bit difficult. Here a moment. Where is my sharing moment? Okay, there are more questions. Okay. So every time I look structure friendly, look Malaysian standard, but some size I need to create myself. For example, it's only measure using 70 by 70 angle. Yes, you need to create the profile and then change the profile there, and then you load it into your model, okay, your family model, and then you can create from that. Okay, it's up to you. If you want to create for the model in place, also if you want to create a loadable family for your steel structure, also can. Yeah, you need to create a profile first for the 70 by 70 size, and then you apply into your family, steel structure family, then you load into project. So in January, as steel size finish. Yeah. All right. So, okay, thanks for the question too. It's actually a pretty good question because it will apply to all projects. Okay, others, is any more questions? All right, so I believe there is no more question. Thank you everyone for joining me today. Oh, I just going to share if you want to re-watch today's online lesson, you can go to our moment, our website, and then from here you scroll down, you can find our YouTube channel, right? Yeah. If you want to watch the previous pre-online lesson also can. You go to our YouTube channel, Effect System Sendirian Berhad, and then from here you go to live stats. Then you can see we will re-upload our pre-online lesson. So you can re-watch our pre-online lesson for your reference in the future. Okay? So I believe, yeah, I believe that's all for me. Thank you everyone for joining our pre-online lesson today. Thank you so much. I hope you get uh anything, okay, you get something for this parallel lesson. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye. See you on our next parallel lesson.